Hello everyone. In this video, you will hear the story of a Russian fantasy movie, which is based on the amazing story of man and a magical fish. This fantasy movie is very popular in Russia, and you will really enjoy watching its ending. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, then subscribe for sure. Now let's start the story. So in the beginning of the film, the Fish King is shown sitting under the river, who is sitting with a ring. He asks his spy frog, "Where has the fish I want to marry gone?" The frog says, "Fish King, I cannot find her anywhere." Angry at this, the Fish King pulls the frog towards himself and says, "Search for her everywhere." In the next scene, the house of a blind blacksmith is shown in a village in Russia, where the blacksmith's sleeping son Ivan is woken up by his dog. Ivan is very pure at heart, but he is also a little foolish. When he comes out of the house, his blind father working at the furnace tells him, "You should also learn this work of blacksmithing. After all, how long will I be alive?" So Ivan says, "Yes, I will learn." Then his father asks him to catch fish for food, so Ivan takes a bucket and fork and sets out to catch fish. After this, Ivan goes to a frozen river and puts a hook in the water through a hole, but then bubbles start bursting in the water. Seeing this, Ivan runs back, but then a strong splash of water comes out of that hole, and with that splash, a fish falls into Ivan's bucket. Seeing this, Ivan becomes happy and thinks, "Well, it's good that I have arranged for food today without even trying." Then he comes back with the fish in the bucket and starts making arrangements to cook it. Then the fish says, "How will you cook me?" Hearing this, Ivan gets nervous and asks, "How can you speak?" So the fish says, "I can do a lot. If you leave me back in the river, I will fulfill your 3 wishes." Now Ivan becomes very happy and says to the fish, "I will tell you my wishes later." Then he lies down, and during this he accidentally says, "My wish is that I should roam the whole city without leaving this furnace of mine." Then a surprising incident happens, and his house starts rising upwards. So as Ivan says, "What is all this happening?" So the fish says, "Your first wish is being fulfilled." Ivan says, "But I just said it like that." So the fish says, "But you had asked for a wish." Now Ivan comes out of the house with his furnace, and his furnace starts moving forward like a car. The fish says to him, "Because you said that you want to roam the city without leaving the furnace, that is why the furnace is also moving with you." Ivan cannot believe his eyes. Due to the winter season, Ivan is shivering, so he says, "I wish there was heat and greenery." As soon as he says this, the snow starts disappearing from everywhere, and the summer season arrives, due to which greenery is visible all around, and the ice on the rivers melts. Now the fish says to him, "Your 2 wishes have been fulfilled, and now only your 3rd wish is left." So Ivan now goes ahead with that fish in the bucket and says, "People are right in saying that I am a fool. I wasted my 2 wishes. If I wanted, I could have asked for something bigger." So the fish says, "Every person asks for things according to his level of thinking." Then while going ahead, some robbers stop Ivan and try to rob him, but Ivan does not have money, so they snatch his fish from him. But seeing an opportunity, Ivan runs away from there with his bucket of fish. The robbers chase him. Seeing no way to escape, Ivan leaves the fish in the river and says, "You will be safe here." Angered by this, the robbers hang him upside down on a tree and leave from there. After a while, a beautiful girl comes there, who unties his rope and brings him down. Ivan understands that this is the same fish by seeing the shiny fish scarf on her shoulder. Now he asks her name. Then the fish tells him her name is Yana. Then Ivan takes away her fish scarf so that she cannot run away. Then he tells Yana, "I still have my 3rd wish left. I will use it when the time comes." Yana says, "What do you want to do next?" So Ivan says, "I want to marry the daughter of the Russian King Tsar." Yana asks, "Is this your 3rd wish?" Ivan says, "No, I will try for this myself. You just have to support me." Yana says, "Okay." In the next scene, King Tsar's palace is shown, where Princess Nancy's maid tells her that the ambassador of England is coming. Hearing this, Princess Nancy becomes very happy because she always wanted to marry an Englishman, so she quickly dresses up and sits down. But King Tsar did not like the English at all, so he did not want his daughter to marry an Englishman at all. After a while, the ambassador of England comes there. He has come with the intention of pleasing the king and asking for the hand of his daughter in marriage, so he gives an umbrella to Princess Nancy, seeing which Nancy becomes very happy, but King Tsar does not like all this at all. So he says to the ambassador, "The English come everywhere only with the intention of looting." On this, the ambassador says, "No, Maharaj, I have brought such a gift for you too, seeing which you're thinking about the English will change. By now, Ivan and Yana also reach the kingdom of the Tsar. But here the Englishman shows a machine to the king and says, "This machine can play music on its own." Actually, the ambassador has hidden one of his men inside the machine, who used to play music on pressing the button of the machine, but no one there knows about the cleverness of the ambassador. When the ambassador is playing music from the machine and showing it to the king, Ivan is watching all this from the walls of the palace with Yana. Here the king is not impressed with that machine and says to the ambassador, "We do not need any such machine." But Nancy falls in love with the British ambassador and wants to marry him. Meanwhile, the ambassador starts kissing Nancy's hand. The king does not understand how to explain to his daughter, but then Ivan comes running there and tells the king, "You do not need to marry the princess to an Englishman. I will bring you a device that can play music on its own." Hearing this, the king becomes very happy, because he was looking for a reason to stop the princess from marrying the Englishman. So the king says to Ivan, "Okay, if you bring such a musical device, then you can ask for whatever you want." Ivan says, "Can you then get me married to the princess?" So the king says, "Yes." Hearing the king's words, the princess gets irritated because she wanted to marry that Englishman at any cost, and she did not like Ivan, so she tries to scare Ivan, but Ivan remains firm on his words. Now the king tells his men to give Ivan new clothes and shoes to go on this quest, because Ivan was poor and he was wearing only torn socks on his feet. Ivan becomes very happy with this, and after coming out he tells this to Yana. Yana tells him, "Such a musical instrument does exist, but it is very difficult to bring it." Ivan asks, "Why is that?" So she tells him, "That musical instrument is with a big cat in the dark forest. Until now, whoever has gone to bring it has never returned alive." Ivan asks, "What kind of danger is there?" So Yana says, "The cat's musical instrument is such that if it plays a happy song, then the person starts dancing and does not stop. Then when that person gets tired of dancing, the cat eats him. And if that cat plays a sad song, the human falls asleep crying, and even then, the cat eats him." Hearing this, Ivan says, "Then this is a very dangerous job, but I will take this risk." After this, he fills a bag with food items and sets out with Yana in search of that instrument. During this, both of them reach close to the dark forest, passing through many difficult paths. There, Yana tells Ivan that from here onwards, you will have to go alone. So now Ivan goes inside that dark forest alone. There are skeletons and bones of people lying all around. Then he hears the voice of a cat, which tells him that these skeletons belong to those people who had come here to take my musical instrument. "Do you also want that musical instrument?" So Ivan says, "Yes." The cat says, "For this you will have to pass a test of mine. If you can control yourself even after listening to the music of my musical instrument, then I will give you this instrument of mine." Then he asks Ivan, "Should I sing songs of sorrow or happiness?" Ivan says, "Songs of sorrow." So now he starts playing his musical instrument while singing Billa Gam songs. But surprisingly, Ivan is not affected by that song, and he starts singing the rest of the lines of that song. Seeing this, Billa asks Ivan, "How do you know the lines of this song, and why are you not saddened by playing this song?" Ivan says, "My mother used to sing this song to me every day in my childhood, so it does not affect me." Billa has lost the bet, so he tells Ivan, "If you take away my musical instrument, I will die of hunger." On this, Ivan gives him a lot of food and drink from his bag. Happy with this, Billa tells Ivan, "Along with this musical instrument, I will also come with you. From today onwards, consider me your friend." On the other hand, the messenger of the Fish King, the frog, comes to meet Yana, who is waiting for Ivan sitting near the river. He tells her, "The Fish King is searching for you everywhere, so you go to him and marry him quickly." Yana says, "Tell him that I will never marry him." But then Ivan and Billa arrive there with a musical instrument, and they both overhear Yana and the frog's conversation. So Yana asks Ivan, "So you finally found that musical instrument?" Ivan says, "Yes." After this, both of them start returning from there. On the way, Ivan tells her, "You don't want to marry the Fish King, that's why you ran away from there." Yana says, "Yes, because I don't love him." In the next scene, King Tsar's palace is shown, where the ambassador of England has come in disguise as the ambassador of Italy so that he can convince the king to marry the princess. The princess recognizes him and becomes happy. But before the ambassador asks the king for the princess's hand, Ivan reaches there with a musical instrument and asks Billa to play happy songs, due to which all the people present in the court start dancing, despite not wanting to. Due to the magical music, they are not able to stop themselves and start getting restless while dancing. Finally, on Ivan's request, Billa stops playing the music. The king is very happy with Ivan and says to him, "This is a very wonderful musical instrument, so the badge and the instrument will live in our palace from now on." Now, Ivan says to the king, "As per the condition, now you will marry your daughter Nancy to me." The king says, "Yes, but Nancy was very cunning and arrogant. She only wanted to marry that English ambassador." So, in order to not marry Ivan, she cleverly tells him, "If you really want to marry me, then do something for me, which will make me feel that you can do anything for me." The innocent Ivan does not understand Nancy's cleverness and says to Nancy, "Okay, I am ready. Tell me, which work do you have to do?" Actually, Nancy wanted to give him such a difficult task that he would never be able to complete it and never return here. So she says to Ivan, "I will tell you about that work tomorrow." After this, Ivan goes to Yana. Seeing Ivan happy, Yana asks him, "Is the marriage between you and the princess fixed?" Ivan says, "No, she has said that if I complete one more task of hers, she will marry me." And there, on the chair that approached her mother, she calls the spirit of her evil mother. Her mother's spirit asks her, "Why have you called me so late at night?" Nancy says, "I want to give Ivan such a difficult task that he can never complete, and I get rid of him forever." On this, her mother's spirit tells her a difficult task. The next day, as per the plan, on the princess's request, the ambassador shows a machine to the king and says, "If you put salad in this machine, it gets cut automatically, and if you put fruits, the juice also comes out automatically." Actually, the ambassador has hidden one of his men inside this machine, who used to do all this work, but outside everyone thought that the machine is doing this work. The ambassador asks the king, "Is there any such machine in your kingdom?" Before the king can give any answer, Nancy tells the king, as per her mother's plan, "Father, can Ivan bring me a machine or something? A machine that serves food automatically and folds the food automatically." The king says, "I have heard about such a magical tablecloth, but I have never seen it in reality." Nancy cleverly tells him, "If Ivan brings such a magical tablecloth, I will marry him." Then, as per the princess condition, Ivan sets out to find the magical tablecloth with Yana. On the way, Yana tells him that the magical tablecloth is with two brothers named John and Ron. Many years ago, both of them left the city and came to live in a hilly area. Both of them used to get food and drink without sitting, so they became lazy, and their bodies swelled up due to eating so much that they can no longer walk much. While talking like this, both of them stop at the house of an elderly couple. Despite being poor, they both love each other very much. Moving on, Yana tells Ivan, "Love between two people should be like a needle and thread, in which one is incomplete without the other, just like that old couple." While talking, they pass through beautiful green fields, and finally they reach a hilly area, which was made up of high rocks. Between those high rocks, both the heavy-bodied brothers are sitting with a magical tablecloth. Then they ask for 56 dishes from that magical tablecloth. In the blink of an eye, delicious food appears on the tablecloth, and both the brothers start eating to their heart's content. Ivan and Yana, standing on top of the hill, are watching all this. Then when both the brothers get tired of eating, Ivan comes to them and asks for the tablecloth. Both the brothers get very angry at this and knock Ivan unconscious by hitting him on the head with a coconut. Now Yana comes there to wake Ivan up. She tells both the brothers, "Look at your face in the water once." When both the brothers look at their face in the water, as per Yana's instructions, they are unable to recognize themselves because they had become like animals by eating a lot for so many years. Seeing themselves like this, both the brothers become very sad and tell Yana, "Tell us a way by which we can become normal again." Then Yana says, "First of all, both of you have to get rid of this magical tablecloth so that you guys get rid of your laziness and work hard and eat limited food." Hearing this, both the brothers say to Yana, "You are right, so you take this tablecloth." Now Yana leaves from there with that tablecloth. By now Ivan also regains consciousness. He is very happy to get the tablecloth. While returning, Ivan starts picking flowers from the flower garden to give to the princess. Yana says to him, Have you not understood till now that Nancy does not want to marry you? She is deliberately giving you such a difficult task which you cannot complete, and she gets rid of you." But Ivan is pure at heart, so he says to Yana, "It is not like that." Now Ivan holds Yana's hand and tells her how he will propose to the princess. Seeing his goodness and innocence, Yana also falls in love with Ivan, but she does not express it. But in the Tsar's palace, the princess and the ambassadors are celebrating, because they think that Ivan will never return. But in the meantime, Ivan returns there. The people of the kingdom welcome him with great enthusiasm and rejoice at his success. Seeing this, the king says to Yana, "Look, he has now become a hero in the eyes of the public. Everyone likes him." But Nancy cannot tolerate all this because she did not want to marry Ivan under any circumstances. So she again goes to the storeroom and calls her mother's spirit and asks her, "What should I do now?" Then her evil mother again tells her a dangerous plan. The next day, in the presence of everyone in the court, Yana tells the king, "I am ready to marry Ivan. I just want my mother's blessings for this marriage. So Ivan will have to go to the dark world and bring my mother's permission for this marriage." Hearing this, the king understands that his daughter is giving Ivan this difficult task to avoid getting married because it is impossible to go alive to the dark world. Both the king and Ivan become disappointed by this, but Ivan agrees to do this task as well. After this, he goes to Yana. Yana tells him that going to that place alive means going into the well of death, because it is another world. Ivan asks, how can he go there? "I will go there alone." So Yana says, "There is a black river across the dark forest, which is full of danger and fog. On crossing it, the path to the dark world opens." Then the next day, Ivan sets out with Yana to go to that world. But before this, he takes Yana to his blind father, because he does not know whether he will be able to return from the dark world or not. Ivan's father, after hearing Yana's voice, tells her, "I have not heard my son's voice for many days. I am blind, so I cannot even go to look for him. I do my blacksmith work with great difficulty." Hearing this, both Yana and Ivan become sad on their condition. Now Ivan is regretting why he left his blind father in such a condition. For this, he apologizes to his father and takes his blessings to go on this journey. Then moving forward from there, he tells Yana that I wasted my 2 wishes, but I want that in my 3rd wish you cure my father's eyes. Yana fulfills his wish, due to which his father working at the furnace gets his eyes back. After this, reaching near the river, Ivan tells Yana that as per the promise, you have fulfilled my 3 wishes. Apart from this, you have supported me a lot, but now I do not want to trouble you anymore. Therefore, from here onwards I will travel alone. Then he gives Yana her scarf with fish and frees her. Now Yana tells him, "You have not understood yet? The relationship between us is also like a needle and thread. That is why I cannot leave you in trouble. Once you become successful, then I may leave." Ivan is not able to understand Yana's love, so Yana is also not able to express her love to him openly. Then she also boards the boat with Ivan, and both move forward in the river by boat. Going further, they see statues of angels of death all around. Yana says that the area of darkness starts from here. Then they stop the boat and both of them land in a valley there. Ivan says that this place is very strange. Then the guardian of that world says to Ivan, "How did you come here?" Yana says, "She has come here with me." Ivan is shocked to hear this. Then the guardian says, "Yes, she is my daughter." On this, Yana says, "Ever since you forced me to become a fish, I have no relation with you." So the guardian says, "I had to do this under compulsion for some time so that you can gain experience and learning from around the world." Yana tells them, "We have come here in search of the soul of the queen." Hearing this, the guardian approaches the two and tells them that the queen was a sly and cruel woman. She married the king to gain power and oppress the poor. So her soul is being punished in this world and is being starved for eternity. Then the guardian reveals the queen's spirit there. Ivan tells her that as per the condition, I have come to seek your permission to marry your daughter, but the queen refuses. Seeing this, Yana says to her father, "You do something." Then her father shows food items to the queen and says, "You are suffering from hunger for eternity. If you want an end to this hunger, then you will have to give Ivan permission." The queen is forced to agree to this. In the next scene, King Tsar's palace is shown, where Nancy and the ambassador are having fun sitting in front of the food table. The poor king is watching all this with a sad heart. Then the queen's soul appears on the tray, and she says in front of everyone, "I give permission for this marriage." The king becomes very happy on hearing this, but Nancy is shocked. She cannot believe that Ivan has completed such a difficult task. Meanwhile, in the world of darkness, Yana thanks her father and boards the boat with Ivan and starts returning. Then she tells Ivan that your most difficult task is over. Now you don't need me, so forget me, because now you will marry the princess anyway. But Ivan says that I can never forget you, and neither do I ever want to forget you. On this, Yana says that those who return alive from here have to lose all the memories of this place. On the other hand, Nancy, fuming with anger, goes to the storeroom and starts breaking the chair that summons her mother's spirit. Her mother tells her, "I had to give permission to Ivan under compulsion because I was forced, but I have such information which will solve all your problems." Nancy asks, "Which information?" So her mother says, "Ivan is not alone. A magical fish has helped him in all the feats he has done so far, and you know that in our kingdom, the use of magic is punished with death." So Nancy says, "Now I understand." Meanwhile, as they move forward in the river, it becomes morning, and when Ivan wakes up, his boat has reached the riverbank. But all his memories related to Yana are gone. So he asks Yana, "Who are you?" So Yana says, "I am just a boatman." Then he gets down from the boat and starts leaving from there, but he feels that he is forgetting something. After this, he reaches Nancy and tells her, "Even though I have completed all your tasks, but now I have fallen in love with someone else, but I don't know why. I am not able to remember anything about who that person is." So Nancy says to him, "Have you completed all the difficult tasks alone?" Ivan says, "No. Someone has helped me every time with magic, but I am not able to remember who that person is." On mentioning the magic, Nancy says to the soldiers, "Did you guys hear? Catch him. She has used witchcraft, and in our kingdom, the punishment for that is the death penalty." Ivan is shocked that the woman he did so much for, risking his life, is doing this to him. Then the next day, Ivan is blindfolded and sentenced to death in front of everyone. The king did not want this, but he was bound by the rules of his kingdom. Now, before the soldiers shoot Ivan as per the punishment, Yana reaches there. She says to Nancy, "You release him, in return I will be your slave," and she gives her fish scarf to Nancy. Happy with this, Nancy cancels Ivan's punishment, but now she becomes even more arrogant. So she imprisons her father in a room and becomes the queen herself. Then after wearing the crown, Nancy says to Yana, "You have fulfilled my first wish. Now my second wish is that the Prince of England sends his proposal to me for marriage." Due to Yana's magic, soldiers of England come to Nancy with the proposal of the princess's marriage. Seeing this, Nancy's lover, the English ambassador, says to her, "You wanted to marry me, right?" Then Nancy says, "When I can marry the Prince of England, then why should I marry you?" Then she asks the soldiers to put the ambassador to the work of sweeping and mopping the palace. On the other hand, Ivan, who has been released from there, is wandering all the places where he went with Yana, but he is not able to remember anything properly. Then when he goes to his father at night, John and Ron, both brothers, are also there. Both of them have now become normal bodies due to hard work. Ivan's father tells him, "Last time you came here with Yana." Meanwhile, Ivan's eyes fall on the needle and thread held in John's hand, which reminds him of all the moments spent with Yana, and he also remembers Yana's talk about needle and thread. Now he sets out to get his love and to help him. His father also sets out with John and Ron with his furnace. These people take the furnace and break the gate of the palace. There Ivan tells Yana, "I have remembered everything. I could not understand your love, but now I have come to take you." Seeing this, Nancy tells Ivan, "But now she is my slave." Then Ivan stands in front of Nancy with his father, Ron and John, and says, "Free her, otherwise we will make a mincemeat of your soldiers." Nancy becomes greedy, so she says to Yana that I want you to make me a witch like you in my third wish. Yana also fulfills her last wish, due to which Nancy also turns into a fish. Then she starts trying to become a human through magic, but her magic does not work. Then Yana tells her that the magical fish can only fulfill the wishes of others, not her own. Nancy's plan has now backfired. She is not able to become a human even after wanting to. Then the water of the well starts coming up, and the Fish King comes out. Seeing Nancy in the form of a fish, he thinks that she is Yana, so he catches her and takes her under the water and forcibly marries her. Here, everyone becomes happy after getting rid of Nancy. King Tsar is also freed again and made the king. Ivan and Yana express their love for each other and start living together. This way, this fantasy film ends here. If you also like this story, then like and share the video, and do not forget to subscribe to the channel.